Hello everyone, welcome to another video of mine, Squad below, and this is another Chelsea transfer daily video for you guys. Where I'm going to be speaking about 3 to 4 main stories in this video. The first one is on the Kepa situation, the goalkeeping situation, and potential replacements, looking at Maignan from Lille and Onana from Ajax, the two goalkeepers that the club are looking for to replace Kepa as his long-term successor, his long-term replacement. We're going to speak about Willian and the lucrative mega contract offer from Tottenham, and going to be speaking about Lampard and his future plans. But before I do get into it, make sure you hit the bell notification, subscribe, smash the like button, and comment down below your thoughts on each topic that I do speak about. And finishing off with the Chelsea transfer daily is Zouma and what Julien Lorenz, the French reporter, reported on him potentially going to PSG in this current summer transfer window. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. Starting off with Kepa. It was broken off by the English publication Football Insider, and they said that Frank Lampard is keen to sell Kepa this summer and sign a new Chelsea number one, according to Football Insider. Now, for me, with what we've known for a long time, that Kepa, he's really had since Project Restart to really prove to Lampard and prove to not only us fans, but the hierarchy why he should remain number one, not only for next season, but for the long term as well. We splashed a world record fee on him, around £71.2 million. He's by far a record signing. He's a world record signing for a goalkeeper. And we signed him for his world-class potential, his sweeper keeper, his long-term distribution, his world-class potential, and how he was going to be our long-term successor to Thibaut Courtois. Unfortunately, this season he's been really poor. He's been subpar. He hasn't had good performances. His distribution has been quite poor, and that's one of his strongest attributes. His reflexes hasn't been good. He's catching crosses. His dominance in the air is not great. He's getting beaten in the air. A lot of complaint about his weak wrist, and simply he hasn't been good enough. He had a lot of concentration problems as well. And it's one area that, Kepa's been really poor at. Honestly, Kepa's been really underwhelming, and, after a strong first debut season by Kepa, you'd expect him to kick on from there. Unfortunately, it hasn't happened. I believe that what might save Kepa is obviously he has been decent since Project Restart. He's made some nice saves. His distribution has improved. And obviously next season, because of his price tag, Chelsea can't get rid of him. We can't get anywhere close to the fee that we paid out for him, that we outlaid on him. The club may keep him and he may improve significantly next season. But apart from that, Kepa's Chelsea future is looking in the mud at the moment. It's looking in disarray. And that's why in this video there has been numerous reports by Football Insider that Chelsea are looking at 2 replacements for Kepa, Maignan from Lille and of course Onana from Ajax. Now the report was broken by the reporter Duncan Castles, and those are 2 names that are being considered by Chelsea as Kepa replacements. Obviously we know Kepa's future is in doubt. The Spanish international continues to have an inconsistent season in the Premier League, casting doubts of whether the Blues boss Frank Lampard sees Kepa as a club's number one choice going forward. The Cameroon international is reportedly being linked by Chelsea once again alongside Lille goalkeeper Maignan, according to Duncan Castles. So Duncan Castles, he tweeted, obviously writing for the Mirror and the Sun, saying Chelsea are considering both keepers as the solutions to the long-term Kepa problem. Maignan is a former PSG academy player, was capped for France for the under-21s, but now being 25-year-old 6'3" shot stopper, has been playing his trade at Lille and has yet to earn another senior international cap. Onana feels like it could be a much more likely deal with Chelsea after signing a goalkeeper. Of course, we have been heavily linked with obviously Onana in these past few months, these past few weeks. Now it's time to get into statistics of both players, both for Maignan and of course for Onana. Starting off with Maignan, of course, a 6'5", 25-year-old shot stopper from Lille. High profile. Let's look at his characteristics: strength, shot stopping abilities top notch, his reflexes, his concentration and his saving from close range shots are immaculate, deceptive, perfect, and that's what we need. It's an area of this game that's stronger than Kepa. Kepa can obviously improve in those areas as he develops this game, becomes stronger and ages with time with maturity. But Maignan, he's 25 years old, same age as Kepa, insane reflexes, tall, so commanding in the box. We have a commanding keeper that is physical and dominant in the air, will catch crosses, shot stopping ability really good, concentration and of course saving close range shots. But as you can see, his major weakness is his long passing. His distribution is not the best, and that could be a slight problem. We're advancing to a stage where Lampard would like a super keeper, which Kepa has one of the strongest attributes, but then there's pros and cons of both keepers, because Kepa's actual reflexes is not as good, and obviously the main objective of Kepa is to stop balls from going into the net, so of course, but distribution does help, and with Maignan's distribution being relatively weak, it is an area and an issue that we do need to consider if we want to sign Maignan, of course. And what is the type of money that Lille will command for him? That is also another question. Now, the next goalkeeper that we're looking at is, of course, Onana, who we have been linked with in the past few weeks and months. The main characteristic, of course, again, same thing as Maignan, reflexes and shot stopping abilities are extremely strong. That was clear and evident to see at Stamford Bridge when playing twice in Champions League. He made some class saves, his reflexes were immaculate. And he's done it on the big occasion, the Champions League, against Real Madrid, Tottenham Hotspur. He's done it on the big occasion. He's done it at the top level. It's clear to see that shot stopping ability is one of his strongest attributes. His penalty saving is quite strong, and his saving in close range shots, he comes off his line as well. But again, just like Maignan, his catching of crosses is not the best, and his long passes, his distribution is relatively weak. And these are two major areas his keepers where I'm quite sceptical, because in my opinion distribution is so key in a goalkeeper. I generally do. With the way that the game is moving forward, the modern era of football, distribution is important. Now obviously a lot of people will have this debate. Let's have this debate, so please leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. But personally, I believe better world-class distribution is more important than shot stopping abilities. Now don't get me wrong, the main objective of the keeper is to cut down the amount of goals they can see. But think of it this way: if a goalkeeper has world-class distribution, can start attacks, get assists, get the team going, fully functioning team, ball playing ability goalkeeper, it will then lead to less shots being faced, because if your distribution is good, you'll be making less mistakes on the ball, and therefore your opponents will have less chance on goal, and therefore less shots being faced means that you're going to concede less goals anyway. But if you have weak distribution with strong shot stopping abilities, you're going to naturally have more shots at you because your distribution is weak, so you'll lose the ball a lot. The opponents will have more shots at you, and therefore your shot stopping abilities, you'll always be forced to make a lot of saves. So that's why there's a catch-22 there. Like I said, I believe that if you have world-class distribution, you face fewer shots, and therefore you will concede less goals. So it's something to bear in mind and think about. Now moving on to the next part, I want to talk about Kurt Zouma. Now Kurt Zouma, and of course his links to PSG. Julian Lorenz, a French reporter who writes for, of course, ESPN, he came out yesterday and said that Kurt Zouma is likely to leave Chelsea this summer. Zouma's representatives have already put plans in place for a move this summer, with Zouma facing competition and Lampard on the lookout for a new centre-back. Now, if you ask me, I think that this is disappointing news, because Zouma, in my opinion, he was terrific against Crystal Palace, and he has been a solid centre-back for us, especially this season. He's been one of our best centre-backs. I think that alongside Christensen, he is our best centre-backs, much better than Antonio Rudiger. And if we are looking to sell a centre-back, it should be for Rudiger, in my opinion. I think that Zouma has been unfairly criticised. I think he's put in some top performances, and he is still only young. He's only 25. He's got room to develop into a world-class centre-back. Aerially dominant, strong, good ball-playing abilities, commanding. And there's a reason why PSG are interested in signing him, and I think that Chelsea should not be sending him whatsoever. I wouldn't look into it too much, even though Julian Lorenz is a reliable reporter. I would wait for more reports, more outlets to report on this before start panicking or anything, but it's not looking good. I think that we need to be doing everything to keep Kurt Zouma. I think the reason why his representative and his entourage are looking at this because a lack of game time Zouma has had at Chelsea, and I think that now with Zouma and Christensen, they need time to gel and adapt. I think that Zouma can have a very strong end to season and be one of our first choice centre backs going into and heading into next season, essentially. Now moving on to the final story, I want to talk about Willian. Now Willian, again reported by Football Insider yesterday, Tottenham have offered a lucrative contract and a multi-million signing on fee to Chelsea when Willian, according to Football Insider. We know that Willian's contract is expiring at the end of the Premier League season. He has been one of our best players since Project Restart. He has had world-class performances. His end product has been magnificent. His best period when it comes to end product in a Chelsea shirt, in my opinion. And of course, age is not on his side. He is nearing 32 now, and of course his contract is running out, so he does become a free agent at the end of the Premier League season, with Tottenham and Arsenal lurking. He's already rejected contract offers from overseas. He wants to stay in London, and he wants a 3-year deal with Chelsea. Of course, negotiations are broken down with Chelsea and the hierarchy only willing to give him 2 years. He wants 3, so it's likely that obviously talks are broken down and Willian will be leaving, with Tottenham and Arsenal lurking for his signature. Now of course, like I said, Tottenham have offered a lucrative contract. They have money problem issues, and of course Mourinho's worked with Willian and adores Willian in that sense because of his work rate, his ability on the ball, the quality of the player. And like I said, there's a good chance Willian will be leaving at the end of the season, and either Tottenham or Arsenal will sign him as a free agent. To be honest, I would believe these reports, the multi-million-pound signing on fee, because of course free agents, they do make a lot of money at the end of their contract, when their contract expires essentially. But it's looking likely Willian will be leaving in this season. Leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I will see you guys for my next video. Peace.